let's please welcome Mr. Sipho Mtombeni, and he'll be talking about Google Classroom.
Thanks for that. My name is Sipho Mtombeni. I am Government Affairs and Public Policy Manager at Google. Many of us are aware of the challenges that we faced during the COVID-19 pandemic, especially with education and the lockdowns that happened with the pandemic. I don't need to tell you the imbalances that came out during this period and the needs that came through for technology in order to make sure that we are still able to deliver education. I'm going to share with you just a video. Is my presentation up there? Yes. I'm going to share with you just a video that I'm sure will resonate with many of you in relation to the pandemic issues I'm talking about now. Is the video not playing? So again, let me just get some assistance from the tech team. No? Okay. All right. We'll try to sort that out. It's fine. All right. So I'm going to introduce you today to Google for Education. And you may ask yourself why Google is interested in education at all. Google, after all, has got a mission to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful for everyone. So learning has always been part of our journey as Google. From the very beginnings with our search product, we've looked at making sure that information is universally accessible and that people are able to use it. And we've learned that the use of information in a structured manner is what causes education. And that with the use of information, it can be transformative for both communities and people around the world. We have learned that the usefulness of information is something that throws in everything that we do. This is why Google is a learning company. We believe that anybody and everybody should be able to have access to all school products and clear education. We make sure that no matter what your background is, you are able to access information. And we believe that with the right tools and platforms, accessing to education would unleash anybody's potential. What Google for Education does is that it helps to transform teaching and learning. And we've learned that through this, we can unleash powerful things. It's clear, obviously, that every student has got different needs, and that the needs of every student are different student by student. But there are fundamentals that every student would need. For instance, access to up-to-date curriculum content, access to teachers that can guide and support them, but also access to tools and resources that can help support their learning. With all of these tools and support, we know that we can unleash the potential of each and every student. Why Google for Education, you say? We bring the best of the Google tools to education. We bring everything that we have learned over the last couple of years and bring it to the education field. And the growing numbers of users of our platforms is testament to the fact that our platforms and our products have been useful. We have learned that learning happens everywhere, whether you're at home, on the road, or even at school itself. This is why we want to make sure that we are able to assist from every level of the education field, from government to district learners and leaders who are tasked to designing curriculum and making sure that they are able to provide safe learning environments for children, to school leaders who also make sure that they are running schools and bringing in curriculums that are up to date for kids, to the teaching staff themselves that are there to guide the kids through their journey, and also the parents and guardians who are there at home supporting kids in their learning. Our journey in terms of supporting everyone in this field is to make sure that we can bring some sort of support to everyone. We are here to enable leaders of schools by making sure that they're able to scale up their innovation in their schools and bring peace of mind while investing in our products. We make sure that we're empowering the educators by bringing simple but assistive tools that will make their lives a lot easier in terms of delivering their main jobs and their main criteria. We help and equip every student to make sure they have the necessary skills and tools in order for them to meet the learning needs and that they have it accessibly. And overall, one of the things that drives us through this is that we're constantly evolving and trying to make sure that we're bringing educative tools that are bringing the most latest technology to learning and teaching. Now, what some of our tools are, and I've put up here just a slide that shows some of the tools that we have as Google that are there to provide a platform for learning and teaching and bring the assistive tools for time management, etc. And I'll explain a little bit more when I get into the details. We intend to empower our educators to use our tools creatively in order to make sure that they are bringing in innovative and impactful teaching environments to drive outcomes for kids that they're using, no matter who these children are, no matter where they're coming from, no matter where they're learning from. Now, bringing some of the tools of Google to education, and I'll break it down in terms of the three categories I've put up here. Starting with our hardware, we have our Chromebooks, which are really a simple but powerful device which are built with our built-in accessibility, productivity, and security features that enhance teaching and learning wherever it may take place. Besides the Chromebook, we also have the Chrome Education Update, which unlocks, if it is used, it is unlocking the potential of Chrome OS and Chrome for Education, and frees up IT resources, giving educators the time to focus on what they do best without compromising on outcomes such as security and accessibility. Besides our hardware, we also have software, that being Google for Education and Google Classroom. Google for Education helps your institution collaborate easily. It streamlines instructions and keeps the learning environment safe on the Google Workspace for Education. Google Classroom is built to assist teachers in making sure that they are able to manage and streamline coursework and manage their coursework online. The last pillar there is really with regards to some of the curricula that we have. So we bring together the software that we have, we bring together the hardware that we have, but also as a last link to this, we bring software together. So I'll talk you through some of those that I've listed there. The first being CS First, which is a computer science training program which uses fun learning techniques and videos, which is free, to make sure that from the educator's point of view, they're able to learn how to deliver this and also deliver this to their learners. With the Teacher Center, we have a teacher center that is able to give teachers access to other teachers and a teacher network across the world, where they're able to share ideas and get more ideas as to how to deliver some of their learning outcomes. With Applied Digital Skills, we have a platform where teachers are able to learn practical digital skills for the future of work that they will be doing and how to deliver this work and these learnings to their learners. With Chromebook App Hub, this is a hub where, with the use of Chromebook, it brings access to, and ideas as to how to use the classroom apps and to link them to your current work and to integrate it to Google for Workspace for Education. And with Be Internet Awesome, which helps students understand the importance of digital citizenship and online safety. So these are some of the curriculum offerings that we have at Google, which I have mentioned that are available free to teachers for their use at any point. Now, our vision for 2022 and beyond is for us to be able to enable learning through extended partnerships with third-party solutions. So we work together with schools, with districts, with government to ensure that these tools are being used productively in order to ensure that learning can take place. We also want to build tools that are going to enable school leaders at a leadership level where they are able to see the results at whether district level, provincial level, and these are things that we would want to be able to do in conjunction with the school leadership. We want to enhance our compliance and safety controls, but also make sure that we're making use of sustainable cloud solutions which give us the outcomes for safety and security that we seek to desire. Now, a lot of times when we talk about some of these online schooling tools and their accessibility to them, is the question that always comes about is around accessibility to data and the internet itself. Now, Google is not an MNO itself. We're not within the business of providing data, unfortunately not. But what we have done is that we have done what we can do in terms of the Equiano subsea cable, which we launched earlier this year. With this cable, it links the western coast of Africa from Portugal, Togo, Nigeria, Namibia, and lastly, South Africa. It was launched in South Africa earlier this year. And with this, it would bring connectivity onto the continent, but specifically into our country, to such a level that should bring more affordable prices, in that prices are forecast to decrease by 21% in the next 5 years, prices of data, I mean. And speeds of data are tended to increase and to triple by 2025 due to this cable. And besides the connectivity itself being a high priority, access to devices is also one of the issues that we come across. And we have launched what we call Chrome OS Flex, which is a product of our Chrome OS, our operating system. With Chrome OS Flex, it allows us to revive old PCs and laptops and modernize them that schools may have already. You are able to use this free device and free tool in order to give your old laptops or PC a new life. With that, it is free. It will give you cloud-based management. It will give you access to advanced security features and also extend the life of your device. Now, I'm not sure if my last video is going to play, so maybe if we can have a look at that.
I learned that there was going to be a lockdown, and then my children had to be summarily dismissed from school and from their endeavors.
The first reaction was confusion and a little bit of panic.
The first thing that came to my mind was, how do I continue teaching these children? I am obviously Abiodun Idiabana, and I am the head of school at Kagiso School, Jahi, Abuja, Nigeria.
Mrs. Idiabana told us she was about to go on an interactive platform, but it was very difficult, it was very tedious setting it up.
My greatest challenge with the first platform was there was some form of disorganization and it just wasn't working. And I knew there could be something better out there.
Mrs. Idiabana introduced Google Classroom.
It was very easy to set up. They didn't need to download and upload. They could just do everything on the Google Drive.
The environment itself is very organized, and there's so many inbuilt apps that are all linked together.
They could easily move from using the PCs to the laptops, to the mobile phones or mobile devices like tablets. And then the exams were done still using the Google Classroom platform.
Digital learning tools have created more independent learners. You do a test, you see your score, you see the corrections. You're able to self-appraise on a daily basis.
It really helped them evolve a lot into these individuals who could actually begin to think for themselves. It helps their problem solving, their critical thinking, their creativity.
The kids have actually gone back to school now, and Google Classroom has come to stay.
They're also excited about the hybrid nature of their learning now. The child can always connect back and they didn't get to miss anything in class.
Despite the chaos the pandemic brought, 90% of learners at Kagiso school were able to complete their curriculum. There was no interruption. The only thing that happened was we were not physically present with each other.
I feel blessed that my children had that opportunity to continue learning even in the midst of the pandemic.
Great, thank you for that. And I think with that, I will leave you with the message that one thing that Google Classroom and Google for Education brings is to make sure that we are able to help as many people within the ecosystem as possible. We want to make sure that the student is empowered to achieve their potential. We want to ensure that teachers are able to have less burden on them instead of in terms of administration. They're able to ensure and focus on their key objectives, and also assisting school leaders and teachers and principals to be able to ensure that they can deliver education no matter what the consequences and no matter where the persons are. And with that, let me say thank you, and yes, thanks.
Thank you so much to Sipho Mtombeni, sir. Please make your way here. I just want to discuss one or two things with you. While he does that, there's a question here that was posed to Dr. Patricia, and it says coding and robotics is the buzzword. However, resource constraints need to be taken into consideration as this may increase the digital divide. For example, EDG CAD is said to be compulsory in the CAPS document 2011, but few schools are doing it. I'm sure if the good doctor's watching, she'll be able to answer that question online. There's a question for you here, sir. It's by Sanelisi, when it says, I want to know which app program can we use to teach EGD in Google Classroom. As EGD, it needs the teacher to draw for more explanation. I don't know if you are able to assist with that question.
Okay, I should have explained that I am Government Affairs and Public Policy Manager, meaning I'm not the techie. However, I will find out for you and I will let you know.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. I want to ask you something. You work at Google,
Yes,
no? You
yes,
do?
Yes, I do.
You don't look like you're 18. You look a little bit older than that. And I'm curious to know your journey that led you to work at Google. How did you get there?
So, just in answering that, I think I should explain that I am a lawyer by training.
Ah,
So it takes all kinds at Google.
I
It takes
see.
all kinds to run a company like Google. It's not just engineers and scientists and technologists that are sitting in that office. So my role really has been going up the legal side of things, dealing with the policy side of things. So you would know that to run any company, you do need to comply with the laws of the land.
Correct.
You do need to make sure that whatever products that we are releasing are able to be compliant in that country. So that's where people like me then come into place in order to make sure that we are that compliant. Yes.
I think a lot of people, when they think of these new tech companies like your Google, your Facebook, your TikToks and the works, they're thinking IT, but we forget that there's other components as well.
Correct.
That are needed to run such companies like your law,
Correct.
your finance, and so forth. How would you then advise someone watching this now if they have a student that would also like to be in your shoes but might not be able to study law or has another interest but would like to work for the same organization?
Sure. So as I said, the ecosystem of Google is quite massive. There are various aspects to the business, from your marketing to sales to engineering. I think in a company like Google, one thing that I have been able to learn is that even with the proliferation of technology is to think outside the box. So being a lawyer in this digital age means completely different from what it was 10, 15, 20 years ago. So I think for anybody who's interested, or any student, any teacher who has a student who's interested in joining the tech world, there are so many aspects. Whether you're an artist, you have a space in the tech world. Whether you are in sales, you have a space in the tech world. And I think the one thing that technology has taught us is to get out of the boxes that we've traditionally known in terms of career development. And one of the things that we try to do at Google is to make sure that people are able constantly to upskill themselves. Hence, with some of the digital skills programs I've spoken about earlier, it is about making sure that you are, whatever career that you are in, you're able to go learn about AI and machine learning. You're able to learn about coding. And these are things that I don't necessarily even need to go into a formal school for. I don't need to necessarily go to a varsity for. We have curated a lot of this content with partners like your Coursera's and other experts in the field, and made it freely available online. So if you have a mobile phone or you have a laptop and you're able to access the platform, you're able to go teach yourself a completely new skill.
Judging by your dress code as a lawyer, I can tell that your guys' working environment is quite relaxed. It's quite calm. Tell us a little bit about that.
So if you remember the history of Google itself, the American history, where it started in a garage, and it thrived out of ideating and new ideas every day. So we operate and work in a situation where you think yourself of as a new business, as a new startup every day. Myself, even with the work that I do, I have to work my way around and make sure that I'm achieving objectives that I've set for myself in a manner that is not as restrictive, not as bureaucratic as you would like to think, but it's really to entice and excite the senses in order to make sure that we are bringing innovation constantly and constantly moving with the needs of the community and the society that we are operating in.
So we have some members that are joining us from rural KZN, Limpopo, and the other outskirts of other provinces as well.
Sure.
While they're watching this, I'm sure they're also quite intrigued because for many of us, myself included, I've actually never met anyone that's ever worked for Google. I've only seen people in the movies, and I actually wasn't sure if that actually is real. What does a normal working day for you look like? How is the environment? Like, are you always dressed the way that you dress now? Is it true that you can also come through in shorts, you do whatever that you want to do,
Sure,
as long as the objectives are done for that day?
Yes. And I think I'm going to start my answer with what you said. It's about the objectives. So the normative rules of suit and tie don't operate, because I think it's the understanding that in any traditional career, whether it is a lawyer, whether it is a marketer, whether it is an engineer, for them to meet their objectives, they don't need to wear some sort of uniform that we as society have put to them. I'm actually dressed up today for you because because I was coming to see you. Yes, shorts. Yes, it is a relaxed environment in such that what is key is to make sure that we are unlocking your potential and making sure that you're able to achieve the objectives that are set before you. And whether you do that in a suit, you do that in a short, it does not matter.
Wow, that is so interesting. Sipho Mtombeni, thank you so much for your time. That is Sipho Mtombeni.